Austin Collins trying to make it to the Players' Championship. Doesn't have a slot locked up yet.
No, not at all, but he has had a pretty impressive year so far.
On the play here, Austin is on 6. This is a matchup where I almost don't care if I'm on the play or draw from the Amulet side.
All right, explain.
Well, especially if I'm on a mulligan here. At some point, there's a critical mass of cards, and what I care about is if my Jund opponent has pressure. You know, if my Jund opponent just plays some Thought Seizes, I almost just want to be on the drop. Just hang back, make land drops, I will win eventually.
Sure, that makes sense. Well, there's no hand disruption coming from Jund on the first turn with just a Blackleaf Cliffs to Collins' bounce land go.
Right. And this is, yeah, Collins can just sit back, play bounce lands each turn. This pace suits him really well.
Right, and Shock Overgrown Tomb go, classic Jund strategy.
So that's interesting. Okay, that probably means we're looking at an Assassin's Trophy.
I would expect the exact same thing here.
Third land, and it looks like might be Azusa. That will be the play. Austin going to hold on to some priority. With it on the stack, makes Castle Garenbrig.
Nice. So that one isn't actually going to give McCarthy priority with any sort of trigger, so Collins is going to be able to get maximum value out of this Azusa.
Right. And Breeding Pool as his other land.
That's 6 mana, several different
Yeah.
ways.
And this is the difficult part, right?
Right, so McCarthy's first opportunity to ever Assassin's Trophy this Azusa was with the Golgari Rot Farm on the stack.
Right.
And now McCarthy faces a tough choice of wanting to hit the Azusa, one of the bounce lands, the Castle Garenbrig.
Yeah, he picks bounce land, which I believe is correct. In this kind of matchup, Azusa actually doesn't matter. The damage is already done.
Correct. It just put you ahead several land drops.
Right. So knocking Austin back a mana, I mean, I would actually say on Michael's side, I wouldn't waste time trying to kill Azusa. He's going to do it. I actually think this might not be right in the sense of, look, Austin, if he has 2 more lands and a Titan, you're going to lose anyway.
It's kind of tough because, on the other hand, it does buy you a turn of reprieve from the Titan, and if you don't have anything else to do...
It buys you 1 turn, right. If you have literal nothing else to do, you can sell me on this, but that's about it. And, you know, it doesn't even really buy you a turn. Here's Castle Garenbrig. Right, this just is 6 mana.
Right.
You're going to lose a Titan. Bolt didn't change that. If you're going to lose to Titan, maybe you'll just play your best card and hope Austin doesn't have it. But you can hope all you want. If Austin has it, and he does, this is going to become really bad.
It's hard not to imagine this is just some sort of Teleria West chain.
Really depends on what the rest of his hand looks like. The honest thing is that because Michael has no board, it almost doesn't matter what he picks.
Sure.
If he doesn't have a Primeval Titan in hand, a backup one, then yeah, a Teleria West is the safest way to do things, just in case this gets killed. Even if he does, the next Titan gets Field of the Dead, and then you're off to the races.
Yep.
See, Assassin's Trophy.
Oh, it looks like this is with the Growth Chamber trigger on the stack on the Teleria West.
Okay.
So if McCarthy has a way to kill the Titan, there might actually be an avenue for McCarthy here.
Right. McCarthy's playing to a slim line here, and the hope is that he will untap, kill the Titan, that the Teleria West is gone, and that Austin just has lands.
You know what? I take 10% over 0% every time.
Tribe Scout from Austin. And I mean, it doesn't take him too long to figure it out. You know, plays another trophy here. Sees what happens. If there's another Titan, you tried. Says go. You can't let Austin get another trigger, though. If Austin goes to attack,
oh, you just lose the game.
If Field of the Dead finds its way onto the battlefield from here, you're probably done. There's another. And there are no more forests in Austin's deck. Don't think. He has 3 total.
Right, he has the normal forests in his hand.
Yeah, 2 snow covers and 1 regular. So maybe there is one left then.
It's the
There
third
it is.
trophy. Makes sense. He led on Breeding Pool, and that's been his untapped land for most of the game.
But again, this is all about, is there another Titan? And there is. And
Excuse me.
that's going to do it.
May I have my library back, please?
Well, especially this Titan might be able to get haste as well. So Austin has not made a land drop. So you can get Slayer's Stronghold here. If you have a gemstone mine or something like that in your hand, you can... There are lines here to get all this mana in play. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's something to the effect of get a bounce land in the Stronghold, then replay the Stronghold and activate Sakura Tribe Scout.
Get some of your mana. Yeah, red-white, there's some may be hard to make, but you know, it's probably worse than just getting Field of the Dead anyway.
Right. Just how has Jund gonna beat a 2/2 staple to every land you play for the rest of the game?
I like Field of the Dead Sunhome here. Field of Dead Slayer West makes sense too.
How did you feel about something like Field of the Dead Bounce Land? And just have
Sure.
the bounce land bounce itself over and over and over.
Sure, you'd probably swap it. You'd probably have your bounce land be the Garrison and then pick up the Growth Chamber and start bouncing the Growth Chamber.
Ooh, other option? Bounce Vesuva, copy a bounce land, bounce itself, Sakura Tribe Scout in the Vesuva as a copy of Field of the Dead.
Sure, if you want your Vesuva on Field of the Dead.
Yeah.
I think the thing you probably want to do, just a general principle, is try to not lock in things like Vesuva when you're this far ahead, and not use your Tribe Scout, because if you can play, all you really do, you're going to win. You want to play as reactively as possible.
Sure.
So you're actually like getting the Vesuva in your hand and then not doing anything with it is a really strong play, because then as soon as you see what Michael's up to, then you can blow it out.
Sure, that's incredible. Collins really needs to make sure he remembers that pack trigger next turn.
Yeah, that is certainly his biggest source of potential losses here, is that Summoner's Pact. Yeah, he hasn't put a die on the deck yet, so maybe.
I doubt
don't think
it.
so. He just rearranged his graveyard.
Oh, but he's hiding the Summoner's Pact.
Yeah, oh, okay. That's real. Here is that another trophy? Is that 4?
Well,
Titan's gone. That's fine, though.
you don't get to 10 and 3 by running bad.
Bloodbraid Elf from McCarthy. Finds Scavenging Ooze.
Austin lining up his packed mana.
Excellent. I do like when you're mentioning just to use those Tribe Scouts on end step to just rebounce a bounce land over and over. And he'll find that Growth Chamber. Might just make the play you mentioned. Yeah. Bounce land will make a zombie. And we'll see if it picks itself up. He'll actually pick up the T-West. Sounds like he wants a Primeval Titan. And now here's the moment. He's got to pay. And there it is.
That moment where I
Bullet
see the
dodged.
fifth land with it, I go, oh no.
Quick mana count here. So 3 there to transmute. Any untapped land, doesn't even need it. Garenbrig already makes 6 green.
And this is exactly that dynamic you were talking about, where Jund is going to struggle so much against one Primeval Titan because it's never one Primeval Titan.
The way this deck is set up in this kind of matchup, you have to beat them before they make a Titan. You just don't win the post-Titan games.
Exactly. Look, McCarthy has had the full 4 Assassin's trophies.
Right.
And this is not close to good enough.
Trophy is a 1-for-1. Primeval Titan is not a 1-for-1. These exchanges are not in Michael's favor.
Trophy's not even a 1-for-1.
Yeah. I mean, it is now that he's now the 4th one is, I suppose. But
Yeah. Love a good 3 for 4.
counting his unique land type names. Yeah, he's still good. Vasuma, Simic, Growth Chamber. Vasuva copies Field of the Dead. Growth Chamber is probably just going to pick up anything. Doesn't matter. Probably another bounce land. So we have Garen Brigg, Growth Chamber, Rot Farm, Field, Forest. Do you not? That's only 6, right?
Snow
Breeding
covered.
Pool. Breeding Pool.
Yeah.
7. And now, yeah, with 2 zombies a turn, and make that 4 zombies a turn, that's hard for Jund to keep up with. And that's going to be it. Michael looks at the army of zombies, and that's going to go game 1 over to Austin Collins. Castle Garenbrigg, I actually think, showed off pretty well that game.
Yeah, and it's just another example of something that's kind of like a bounce land, where it's one land that effectively generates 2 additional mana.
Yeah, it's a big upgrade for the deck.
Exactly.
A different kind of upgrade. A lot of times when you get a new land for Amulet Titan, it's a one-of. It's something
It's not. It's a bullet.
It's a bullet. But Castle Garenbrig's different, because you don't actually ever get it with Primeval Titan.
Mm-hmm.
You want it to cast Primeval Titan. So you would play 4, except that it's got this thing where you only have so many forests in your deck. You actually can't play 4. The number most players have settled on is 2, which feels about right.
You know what? With 4 copies of Once Upon a Time, 4 copies of Ancient Stirrings, I think we can splurge on the second one.
Yeah, I mean, you want 1 every game.
Right.
And yeah, with so many of these tutors, you actually, 2 of them means you find it most games.
Exactly. So you get 7 cards in your opening hand, 5 to 10 cards worth of selection, not counting draw steps. You're just fine on that. And you don't even need it every game. It doesn't play into a lot of your Azusa draws.
Looking at the sideboards here, we'll get there in just a second. Now, we've been talking here, our next stop on the SCG Tour is the Invitational. Austin Collins is qualified. If you're still trying to get invitation, though, make sure to hit up a Star City Games Invitational qualifier. You get the top 2 get qualifications to the Invitational. That's coming up in 3 weeks in Roanoke. It is at SCGCon Winter. But in addition to that, it's $1,000 in prizes to the top 8. You can get points to earn buys at opens, or maybe even make a run to the Players' Championship, top 8 playmat, and tokens. You can find a list of all locations at starcitygames.com/IQ.
And you can get a Matthias Hunt token.
Yeah, you need one.
It's a good one.
A good token.
It is a really good token. I had exhausted the Matthias Hunt to get to the feature match area joke like 3 weeks ago because of Urza.
I was so happy when Urza was printed, because originally that was just a Karn token.
Yeah.
And that was okay, but we don't really see much. That card doesn't see much play anymore. And then Urza, boom, we did it. Man, Karn is a card that card fell off really hard.
Yeah, basically War of the Spark kind of invalidated it, because every color has a good 3-mana Planeswalker now. Before, the draw was no matter what you played, you had this good 4-mana Planeswalker.
People used to cast that card. Now it's just...
simpler times, Matthias.
Teferi, 5-mana Teferi used to be a good Planeswalker.
Well, that's still an okay one.
In what format?
Well, I mean, the ones he's legal in? I don't know. Vintage, that card untapped Tolarian Academy.
All right, I do like that.
It's a fun of and modern.
This matchup was always in favor of Amulet. It does feel like the current layout is even worse for Jund than normal. We look at the sideboards, and Austin actually has a ton of tools for this matchup. Yes, he starts with, we got some Tireless Trackers, another Field of the Dead, an Obstinate Baloth.
And I think something that McCarthy needs to really lean into this next game is making sure there's some sort of early disruption. Right, just passing twice, hoping Assassin's Trophy on a bounce land is good enough is not acceptable.
No, I mean, you can't just have removal spells. You can't even lean on something like Ashiok. Eventually, Austin will overpower that, too. Mm-hmm. And here we'll go, second game. McCarthy kind of had a murderer's row today. I've got a chance to see some of his earlier matches. Picked up a win against Dylan Donegan, then a win over Rudy Brixa.
And that's one of the decks these Jund decks are pretty good against, just Kolaghan's Command versus Artifacts.
Yeah. The most popular deck here in the room today was Urza decks. Michael has had a great time against those. You know, and he said that himself, actually, when he was in the feature match area, saying so far he had been good at dodging the amulets and trons in the room.
Sometimes you're going to flip tails.
Yeah, it's always the win-in too, right? You dodge your bad matchup until the win-in.
Well, to be fair, that makes it easier to get win-ins.
Look, I'm not saying it doesn't make sense. It's just the bad beat story.
Sure. Look, half the room gets a bad beat story every round.
And we get to hear all of them. Here is Damping Sphere out of the sideboard for McCarthy. I actually like where this plan is heading. We see Damping Sphere, and it looks like Fulminator Mage and Liliana of the Veil to back it up. That might be enough.
Right, and Damping Sphere is one of the ways that you can justify not keeping a Thoughtseize hand or something to that effect. You do need one of these sort of hammers to try and swing the game back in your favor.
3 mana here. Liliana of the Veil. I like this. Normally you'd lead on Fulminator Mage, but he's correctly read that he actually has time to wait.
Boom!
Except, right, Austin had one of those in the sideboard, and now he's going to lose the Liliana. And he discarded a Lightning Bolt. This matchup is really fun. For a second here, Michael really had a lot going. Things got hard. Yeah, now we see Azusa. Gonna make some more land drops.
This is such a big upset. Just being 100% frank. This is...
Well, I mean, this is how the matchup's supposed to go, but Michael had it, you know?
Yeah, is it supposed to...
He had the good draw. He had Sphere into Fulminator into Bloodbraid with a Lily on the play. This is how you're supposed to win these ones.
Yeah, so losing the matchup is something to kind of expect from the Jund side.
Not like this.
But being maybe not literally at 0 life, but feeling dead after you go Damping Sphere into Liliana on an empty board, this is cruel.
God. Maybe you were supposed to lead on Fulminator, you know? That'd be so hard to play to make.
You could always use Liliana's secret mode, her 0.
So I actually, the don't use it mode.
Yeah, I want to spend my mana efficiently, but...
Actually, in his defense, I really like the play from Michael. When Jen players have oftentimes talked to me about this matchup, or at least my thought in it, is that the matchup is bad enough. They say, well, I can't plus my Lily because of Baloth. My answer has always been, just do it. Look, you don't have time to play around things. This matchup is too bad for you to do that.
Sure.
Just plus it and accept that sometimes, Austin has 1 Baloth in the 75.
Sure.
You have 4 Lilianas. Just jam.
Sure. There's also a point when you have something like Bloodbraid Elf that you could look into, say, seeing what happens next turn.
If you don't make the Amulet player discard cards, then they're going to Titan you and kill you. So, yeah. We see Kolaghan's Command takes care of Azusa and a card in Austin's hand. Yeah, because of Damping Sphere in play, we are still playing.
Mm-hmm.
Attacking Michael to 14. Renin 6 the pickup. Again, that Obstinate Baloth really screwed up this game for Michael.
And, Damping Sphere is also turning off Bloodbraid Elf here.
Right, he'd need a 5th mana really to cast it.
Mm-hmm. And with the way this hand is set up, he really only gets to cast one of these spells this turn.
So what do you feel? Do you block sack with Fulminator?
What I might look into doing is something to the effect of Fulminator Mage, pass, then Renin 6 roll up, and then blow up a land, possibly? No, because then there's a 6 land pre-combat.
You can't Renin 6 and Fulminator.
No, I'm saying over the course of 2 turns.
Okay. Yeah, he might have enough mana for it, except the Damping Sphere stops it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he'll just make Fulminator Mage. And that'll be it.
I think his other line here would have been something to the effect of just cast Renin 6, sack Nurturing Peatland, get back Nurturing Peatland, to try and find more tools.
Speaking of tools, Austin finds a Vesuva off Once Upon a Time. Because of Damping Sphere, Michael, well, yeah, I was going to say, he does not have to worry about Titan this turn. Even with Castle Garenberg, there's no way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Both those bounce lands just make a single colorless. And Fulminator Mage, block, sacrifice, takes care of that Teleria West. And it'll be Vesuva from Austin, copying Basic Forest. I like this from Austin, to copy Basic Forest and not Snow-Covered Forest.
Mm-hmm.
Michael down to 11. Can make
Spalos putting in work.
This Spalos been fantastic. Took a runaway game and made it very difficult for Michael.
Yeah, to single-handedly swung this game.
Here's Bloodbraid. He's got the extra mana for the Damping Sphere. And this is good. Okay, Ashiok, another sideboard card.
That's a hit.
We're noticing a theme here for the matchup. Damping Sphere and Ashiok and Fulminator Mage. This is all the sideboard cards.
Oh, yeah. This is a matchup where McCarthy knows he is a huge dog game one.
And I like this from McCarthy, not to minus the Ashiok, because he doesn't want to bring it to 4 loyalty. The passive ability is what matters here.
Mm-hmm.
Smart move. This time if Baloth attacks Ashiok, you probably just let Ashiok go to 1.
Probably.
Michael wondering if he attacks back. Austin is at 24. There actually is a concern that Austin will ignore and go upstairs.
Look, if you're not blocking, you attack.
That's true. And that's the math he does as well. So
Sure.
Austin to 21.
A lot of work for McCarthy to do, but this is a start.
Yeah, where do you think Austin goes with the attack? Okay, Austin wasn't close. Quickly at the Ashiok.
Yeah, at this point, it may just be he knows he's, one turn away from a Primeval Titan.
Yeah.
Let's get this Ashiok off the battlefield and end the game.
Right. My read here is that if Austin's playing it this way, the Titan is in his hand.
Yes.
It's a challenge to Michael, because eventually, the hard part on the Jund side is eventually they will make Primeval Titan. You can't actually just keep them off it forever. You need to kill them before they get the Titan out.
Right. This is a matter of getting Austin to 0 life before that happens.
Renin 6 the play from Michael. I don't know that he has a way to stop Primeval Titan. While Ashiok's in play, Titan is actually manageable. It can't search.
Yep, just being a 6/6 trample creature is bigger than anything John does.
It's good, but beatable.
Right.
Maybe.
I mean, there's even a point where Tarmogoyf might be bigger.
Yeah, if Ashiok's gone, we've added Planeswalker.
Mm-hmm.
It's possible.
There's a Liliana in the graveyard.
Here is Tarmogoyf. So we will get a check on Tarmogoyf.
5?
So, instant, Planeswalker, land creature.
Oh, maybe
There's
not
no
a sorcery.
There's
Right.
no sorcery. So I think 4/5. Yeah, normally the quick Tarmogoyf method is there's the easy 4 and the hard 4. So this is how it was. Creature, land, instant sorcery are the easy 4.
Usual suspects.
And then the weird 4 are artifact, enchantment, Planeswalker, tribal.
Yes.
So we have 3 of the usual ones, and then so we're missing sorcery, but we have Planeswalker. Another swing.
Makes sense. Tarmogoyf cleanly checks the Spaloth.
But now we're going to have to win post-Titan. You have to think on a 5-card hand here that Austin has it. And he does. Has to shock for Breeding Pool. Or does he? Yeah, 2 green. No, it's Engineered Explosives. Oh, wait, that's actually much better.
Oh.
Hold on. We found a play that's better than Primeval Titan.
Oh,
no.
My.
EE on 2. Kill. This matchup's really hard. It's really hard. Look, Michael has been playing really well. A lot of things went right. I agree with his plays. This matchup's just really hard.
Yeah, no, this is a beating.
And now Austin's hand's probably something like 2 Primeval Titans.
Yeah, he still has 4 mana left at the end of all that.
Yeah, now he unlocked all the mana that was under Damping Sphere. He's still winning on life points.
And this is the problem with kind of building a house of cards like this without being able to apply adequate pressure from the early phase of the game on.
Right.
It also goes back to what you were talking about Austin just having inevitability.
You know, and let's say there's even a perfect world where Austin doesn't have the Primeval Titan. A red source wins the game here, because then the Byleth double strikes.
Oh.
And Michael's at 8.
Okay,
You could just run the insult here, just say, play Gemstone Mine, swing. And maybe that's good enough.
Is there a world so you could tap the 3 single land, 1 short? So close.
You want to use the Titan to find the red source?
Yeah, I was trying to think if there's a way you could get, say, Gemstone Mine bounce land.
Sure.
Bounce your Gemstone Mine, kill from there.
No, you'd need 11 for that.
Right.
By swinging here, Michael is just losing to Mountain.
Luckily, Collins didn't register
He
that.
doesn't have it. No, he just has 2. He just has 2 Titans. His hand has 2 Titans. There's a 3rd card sandwiched between the 2 of them. But see, so very well fought here for Michael, but just gonna come up short. Now that the mana is unlocked, Primeval Titan will join in. And this is where you can give that insurance in case they kill the Titan, is you just make sure Titan gets a red source here.
Yep.
You know, something like Field of the Dead Boros Garrison is probably a really good Titan pile here. Get a zombie, get a red source, pick up whatever.
Pick up Vesuva.
Yeah, that's a good one to have in hand. Yeah, pick up Vesuva.
Then you still have a land drop for turn?
Assassin's Trophy, the Titan, with it on the stack. I mean, that's kind of, we said, that's
fine.
Sure.
Yep. That resolves.
So, first gets the land off Assassin's Trophy. That's a forest. Yeah, counting this one out just to see how he wants to do this. I don't think there's a way to do it wrong.
Yeah, it's really, he's just trying to figure out how to turn, say, McCarthy's 2 percentage points into 0 percentage points.
Right. I think, yeah, Field of the Dead Boros Garrison, to me, looks like the best pile, and looks like Austin's comes the same line. It's pretty strong here. You get the zombie, you get to pick up anything. We liked Vesuva. We'll see what Austin likes. And that's what it'll do. Then plays Vesuva back again, copying Field of the Dead, swings in for 4. The Bloodbraid Elf blocks, but Austin is going to take this one. And then he has to see whether he needs another match to make top 8.
Right.
At 11-3, Austin came into this round in 6th place. And Michael extending the hand. And maybe a draw is in line for Austin. Maybe he has some work to do.
Yeah, he's going to have to take a look at his tiebreakers, see if he's sitting near the top, or if he really is just